Hello everybody out there, Dillinger Rockwell here. I know this isn't the normal type of content I post. Normally it's some type of political views or some type of video gaming tutorial or just giving you an update on what's going on with Rocks, the Amstaff Pitbull Boxer Mix Terrier. So this one is actually going to be an instructional video on how to better improve your Hi-Point pistol. So I know a lot of people out there, as soon as I said Hi-Point, you cringed because you're one of those Glock fans or you're just one of those people that believe Chevy's better than Ford and all that ignorant bullshit. Well, let me squash your little dreams right now. A Ford is not necessarily better than a Chevy and vice versa. It's actually the owner of the vehicle that's better. So if someone has a Ford and it's lasted longer than a Chevy, that just means that person that drove the Ford took better care of it than that person that drove the Chevy. I've seen Chevys out there longer, I've seen Fords out there longer. One thing I can say is you'll never see a 25-year-old Hyundai or Kia out on the road because those vehicles actually are shit. Anyways, moving on. I wanted to give a little instructional video here because the main reasons people talk a lot of crap about Hi-Points is quality. Well, where that may be a slight issue in some of the things I've noticed, there is a lifetime, no questions asked warranty. So no matter what happens to my pistol, I can send it in. They either replace what's damaged or they'll just send me a brand new gun free of charge. So that alone is what sold me. And so to buy a .40 caliber pistol for under $200 and have that warranty, I thought, well, even if it is crap, why not? Plus, also, there's the aspect of you don't want to go buy your first handgun and buy a Glock or a Taurus or an M&P Shield or just something that's going to be very expensive. And then, let's say you're a first-time gun owner and you make that dumb mistake or some dumb mistake and you ruin it. Then on top of that, Beretta and Glock, they don't have lifetime no questions asked warranties. If they find out it's your fault that the gun malfunctioned, they're going to make you pay for the repair. So that's just all that crap. As if you're getting into guns, you want to avoid all that in the beginning. You also kind of want to know something about the materials that they're made with. And so that's what I want to go over right now is I've noticed 3 not that big of a deal issues, but they're still issues, and I had them looked into. So I put everything back to original in my gun so that I can shoot this video for you. After the video, of course, I'm going to switch it all back to how I want it. But let me just go through here. And this is my Hi-Point .40 caliber JCP. It does not have a magazine in it, and there's nothing in the chamber. So what you want to do is you want to start off, and you want to put the slide back and rack the safety up so that it locks the slide back. See that? And then right behind that red dot on the slide, there's going to be a gap. The video quality probably isn't all that great, but there's a gap there. So I'm going to use the magazine, or just anything else you can use, to prop up the back of the slide so that you get a little bit of air, because you don't want to knock that pin out, because this is the first issue I've noticed. A lot of other pistols, you can just disassemble it by hand. You don't need any tools, and so that's great in the field if you're out at a target range or just out in the desert or wherever you like to go shooting, and you need to do a quick repair on the gun. It's great that they come apart in your hands, but however, that can be a performance issue if somebody else, you're maybe in an emergency and you have to go against somebody and they know about your gun. They can do other things to make it malfunction, such as grabbing the slide, wrap their fingers around the barrel. You can only fire that one round. It will not cycle another one in. So, I mean, there's just a lot of other things that are problematic with semi-automatics. I also do want to get a revolver because you can grab my barrel all you want. You're not going to stop that thing from firing. So, let's just go through here real quick. I have a small flathead screwdriver. You can use a really tiny Allen's head key or just anything that'll get to the head of that pin, and then you just knock it out. So what I noticed is when I first bought this, it was brand new. That pin was very tough to knock out. Just keep at it. You will get it. Eventually, the more and more times you do that, it will become easy, just like you saw. So now that that pin is out, that's issue number 1. You got to knock out a pin. You need some tools nearby to take this thing apart. So that's not that big of an issue. Very, very small, considering the other aspects. So now that you've got that, you unclick your safety, put the slide back into its original position. Then you want to put a finger on this pin here. That's your retaining pin for your firing pin and the springs that activate it. So you want to keep that there because you don't want that stuff getting thrown out. And you pull back and then up, or the opposite of up. Let me get a better angle here. There we go. Okay. So now that the slide has been removed, issue number 2 is present. Now, this spring, it's metal. It's a metal spring. It's going to do what it's going to do. But the problem I have is this plastic end cap. It's plastic. I work in plastic mold ejection, so I happen to know that that is a faulty part. Plastic is very malleable at certain temperatures. It can swell or shrink, or what we call in the industry create sink spots. So I went and got to my tool guys, gave them a block of grade 8 steel, had them measure this piece out precisely, and they milled it down. And now my part of this that is originally plastic, mine is made of grade 8 steel. So that's one of the things I changed on it. The next thing I changed is, if you look in the slide here, there's your firing pin. I'm going to push that guy back in because you want this area empty. You want it all empty when you go to put everything back together. But in the back, that pin that I placed my finger on when I was removing the slide, I'm going to pull that guy out here carefully. This pin is made of a material called pot metal. Now, pot metal is not as strong as steel, and so the problem with that is, if anybody with strong enough forearms were to grab the slide, unclick the safety, and pull the slide back very hard, they could snap this part, and it is very breakable. So that was another thing that I had replaced with grade 8 steel. And so ever since I've done that, this thing has been working just amazingly great. It was working great before I did that. I just did that as kind of like a preventative materials to add in to avoid any issues in the future. And so I really think that it did help. I don't have any issues or any problems with this handgun. A lot of people talk about Hi-Points jamming a lot. I don't know what you mean. You are either a crappy cleaner or you use crappy ammo. So, just mix it up, dude. It's a cheap gun. It's cheap enough in the fact to where you can experiment. And if you do wreck it, who cares? Send it into Iberia Firearms and they'll give you a new one or replace the part that you broke. No questions asked. That is the great thing about that. They don't care what you did to the damn thing. It's inexpensive enough to repair or replace that they do that. They're making their money. They're a company. So, knowing the economic end of it, I don't understand why everybody doesn't start with Hi-Point, to be honest. It seems like the better go. I'm glad I did this instead of buying a Beretta, having a slight issue, or trying to learn how to take the damn thing apart and then breaking something, and then having Beretta tell me that I gotta buy the part to replace. No. So if you're a beginner, like I was years back, it definitely would be a first time good thing for you to do, is to get something cheap, get something inexpensive. That way you can work with it. My very first bike was a Huffy. Nowadays, I wouldn't touch a Huffy to save my life. I ride Schwinn's and Dynos and all that sort of other thing, actual good bicycles. And so a Huffy to me is like a Hi-Point. So you got to start somewhere, people. I mean, if you're that pretentious snob that just says, well, it's a Hi-Point, it's crap, or I'll never carry a Hi-Point, or, making fun of me because I carry a Hi-Point, I want to issue you a challenge. Meet me in the desert and bring your own target. We'll do different distances, 20 yards, 40 yards, this and that and the next thing, but I can already guarantee you right now that I'm very good and efficient with my weapon. Because the other thing I've done to it, added a ghost ring rear sight. This thing is just amazingly accurate. So you make fun of it being a Hi-Point all you want, but you cannot make fun of the efficiency. You cannot make fun of the warranty. The only thing you really can make fun of is these 3 tiny little issues that I just showed you. 2 of them being material, 1 of them being disassembly process. So, that being said, I really hope everybody's having a good day. Sorry this video didn't feature the dog, but probably will be posting another video here in a couple of days, and that one should have the dog featured in it as well. So you guys all have a great weekend. It's the Memorial Day holiday. Hope you all guys stay safe and no drinking and driving.